let's do something a little different for you today. These are two of the exactly the same locomotives. They are Tyco 080 tender drive steam locomotives, and they're the same thing. They're essentially the same model with different paint jobs. The Chattanooga was from, I think, 1978, and I think the Clementine was released in 1979. So this is my original. I had this one when I was very young, and I was into the trains, and I gave it that weathered paint job, which yeah, I can give or take at this point, but whatever. It might be redone at some point. But I never really liked the look of this thing, and it's not that it was bad. It was just weird. The proportion always kind of annoyed me, because this came in a 280 wheel arrangement as well, and this was the 080 wheel arrangement. And the problem I had was this overhang. It always seemed a bit long to me. Now, that's not to say that this engine didn't exist. It did exist, and I've seen footage of it from way back when, maybe like the 40s or something like that. And it was almost the same thing. It had the steps coming down the front. It was an 080. It had nothing there. So this engine did exist. It's just I just don't particularly care for the look of it. But I liked it, and it ran pretty well for, you know, when I had it. And it was something that I just remember from you know, being a kid and playing with the trains. So lo and behold, I find this on auction, and it was missing the front here, and it was missing the step, and because it was broken. Somebody must have dropped it or something like that. And I said, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to mess with it and change it a little bit to make it look a little bit more like I want it to look. So what I did, I took the frame, I disassembled this thing. I took the frame and cut the frame, moved the pilot back, put this little box here to take up the space to give it a little more of a nicer look. And then I fabricated this little step here with this step. I took the step off what was left of the other thing, and then put it together to make it look the way I wanted it to look, a little bit shorter and a little bit stubbier. And that kind of gives you the impression of this being a little bit more proportional, as far as I'm concerned. I kind of like the look of that. I'll move this one back so you can see a little bit better. Now, also, when you take a look at the original, the Chattanooga, the gap here between the cab and the tender, it's just very wide as far as I'm concerned. I don't particularly care for that. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I think they did it because they needed it to get around the tighter turns, and that's fine. It's just, it's not very prototypical looking. So what I did, I found a piece of aluminum, and I started to, you know, fabricate a drawbar for it, and I tightened up the distance here physically, so this is actually closer to the tender, so there's less of a gap here because the drawbar is shorter. And also I added here, and I added a step in here to visually bring the two together, and I think I accomplished the look I was going for. It, you know, it came together pretty nice as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, also, this was actually from somebody else's video. I thought this was a genius idea. The alligator clips on the end of a test track, and then, you know, just using them as test leads. And I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, but that was genius. And whoever I saw it on, I don't know who it was, but I will credit them with the idea. This is not mine. And if you need to do some impromptu model railroading, I think it's a great idea. Anyway, I just wanted to show you these two engines, give you a little bit of a run here. I don't have very far to go. This is my test track. As you can see, it runs pretty nicely. The tenders were tender drives. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the tender drives have a tendency to be almost like it's almost like a diesel engine from, you know, an HO scale. It's just, you know, the drive is in there. This thing, just the front of it just freewheels. I rebuilt both of them, and they both run pretty well. And that's kind of it. I just wanted to show you what I did and show you what you can do to make something a little bit more scale, a little bit more prototypical, and maybe a little more interesting than how it started out. Thanks for watching.